Your donations do count, and without you, this program cannot continue to be heard on the air. So please, make a tax-deductible donation. Call 1-800-877-3227 or write to P.O. Box 1000, Grants Pass, Oregon, 97528, or go to FHU.com right now and make your
Talk 1470 WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Attention to those of you who have a revocable living trust. When was the last time you had your trust reviewed? Trust should be reviewed every 2 years because the one thing in life that's constant is change. Situational change, financial change, even our closest relationships can change, and any changes not reflected in your trust will have to go through probate. Any change in beneficiary not reflected in your trust means your money's going to go to the wrong people. Attorney Barry Siegel will give you a complete, in-depth review of your trust to make sure it's up to date at no charge. Give Attorney Siegel a call, sit down with him, let him review your old trust. You'll sleep better at night knowing that your trust is up to date. Again, there is no charge for this service. Locations: Palm Beach to Miami. Call 1-855-FLA-3782. Tell them Steve sent you.
AM 1470 WNN with more of what you need to know. Start your day with the Steve Kane Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network, AM 1470 WNN.
Are you saving for college? 529 college savings plans are offered by states to provide easy and affordable ways to save. Saving in advance is a key part of preparing for higher education and avoiding high student loan debt. National studies show that students with savings are much more likely to attend and graduate from college than students with no savings. For more information on how you can get started, visit collegesavings.org.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470 WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Ask the Experts Show with local celebrity hosts Steve-O and Rene. Sit back each week while Steve-O and Rene educate you with live in-studio experts, such as lawyers, doctors, home improvement, and financial experts in their field. Call in and have your questions answered each week at 888-565-1470. Now, here is Steve-O and Rene with today's expert in their field.
Good afternoon and welcome to another Ask the Experts, where we bring you the top experts in South Florida in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Our show is on every Monday and Friday from 4 to 5.
And today we have with us the founder of Taxation Solutions, Barry Fowler. And if you'd like to watch today's show live, go to www.taxationsolutions.net. And in the second half hour, we have attorney Gil Ballou with Ballou and Ballou, who specializes in foreclosure defense.
Before we welcome Barry Fowler, he's on the phone with us today. Just a little bit about Barry, because Barry's a friend of the show. I mean,
absolutely.
He actually does the show with us in about 8 cities.
Right.
And we were so lucky to find the top tax resolution company, not just in the area, in the United States, because let me tell you something, I have seen so many articles out there where people got ripped off, and it was really tough to find someone that you can trust, that you know is going to be around for a while. So Barry is an enrolled agent. He's licensed to represent taxpayers before the Internal Revenue Service, and he is a long-standing member of several tax industry professional organizations, including the National Association of Enrolled Agents and the American Society of Tax Problem Solvers. That's just to name a few.
Wow.
So we bring you somebody that you can trust, because one thing you do not want to do is go before the IRS by yourself.
Never.
Barry and his company, they're very experienced And Barry has been in the industry for 30 years. So with all of his expertise in the tax resolution field, we bring you the best, the expert.
The person I would turn to.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely. We want to welcome now Barry Fowler.
Hi, Barry. How you doing?
Hi, Rene. How's Steve-O? How are you guys today?
Hey, bro. How
We're
you
doing great. So, Barry,
Good.
tell us a little bit about your company and what Taxation Solution does.
Well, Taxation Solutions, I started it out of basically a huge need out there to help taxpayers fight the IRS, and that's basically what we do. But we also do more than that because we give people their lives back. People that have been, avoiding the IRS, sticking their head in the sand and saying, hey, they're never going to find me and I can ignore the problem. We get the IRS off their back. We will stop that biggest and baddest collection agency there is in the country in their tracks to help and assist the taxpayers so that they can live their life, so they can keep their money, so that they can settle their debt.
This is kind of like an elephant on your back, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, you do not want the IRS on your back or getting involved with anything.
And it's not just any elephant. It's the biggest and heaviest elephant that you can find.
It certainly is.
And they have a memory. And, they'll remember everything, and they remember every place you've ever worked, and they track you down. It's even worse than a big, bad pack of hunting dogs out there chasing out a deer or whatever you happen to be hunting these days.
Right. You can't hide from the IRS. So you're also an enrolled agent. So what does that mean?
Well, what an enrolled agent is we are America's premier tax expert, meaning that we are the ones that know the tax law inside and out. Our specialty is pure and simple taxes. We've had to be tested by the IRS. We've had to go through their licensing with the U.S. Department of Treasury, and it gives us rights to represent taxpayers all across the country to the highest levels of the IRS. So you get with us, the enrolled agents, the experts. I mean, this is all we do, is we know taxes, we know how to help people with their problems, and we know how to get the IRS off your back.
So what does tax resolution mean to the everyday taxpayer?
Well, I get this question asked quite frequently, even from our clients, what's tax resolution going to mean? And what I try to get out to everybody is hopefully we never have to meet most of the people that hear this program. But if you are one that has a problem with the IRS, what tax resolution is going to mean for you is getting your life back, getting your problems solved, whether it's an offer in compromise, whether it's a payment plan, whether it's currently not collectible status. But in some fashion, getting the IRS to where they'll leave you alone, let you live your life, let you enjoy your life without the threat of losing all the money in your account, your wages being garnished, or whatever other collection activity they take against you.
There's a lot of people listening now that might not have an IRS problem, but they have a family member, or they have a good friend, or they know someone who does. It is so important for you right now to write Barry's number down, because like Barry says, and he can get this elephant off your back. He can change your whole life. Give him your phone number, Barry.
Nationwide is 888-930-1016. Again, that's 888-930-1016. Anywhere in the nation. If you got a family member or even yourself, just pick up that phone and call us. We'll get you directed to the most local office that we have, for you. We've got one right there in Boca Raton, and we got one up in Orlando.
You have one everywhere.
Pretty much 29 locations, so we're covering.
That's pretty much everywhere.
Yes. So can you explain to people how taxpayers can settle their IRS debt for less than the full amount?
Well, you hear all these commercials. If you owe $10,000 or more, we can settle your tax debt. And, so we have people that call us all the time because they hear our commercials and they hear other people's commercials. But they want to really know, what it is. Can I really settle? And, yes, we can really settle people's debts.
For pennies on the dollar?
You'll never hear that in one of my commercials.
Because we
do
hear
it
that.
all the time.
Right.
We do it all the time. We're not going to mislead anybody that calls us. We're going to actually go through a process. And, what people need to know is it's called an offer in compromise. It's one of the many programs we can put you through with the IRS to settle your debt. But if you qualify, it's because you have very little assets or assets that, we can do away with, for the betterment of the settlement here. You don't have a really good ability to pay, and your income and expenses, meet where the national standards are or supportable. So when you call my office, what's going to happen is my tax consultants will actually walk through the whole program with you as far as, what is your income? What is your expenses? What assets do you have? And assets can be everything from your house, your 401k, or any other retirement accounts you got, and, of course, your cash in the bank. So, if you have a lot of money sitting in the bank, sometimes we can't put you through that settlement program. But we're going to be very clear about it. We're not like just anybody else that you're going to call, and they go, oh, yeah, we want you as a client, and we can do anything you want us to do.
And you offer free consultations as well.
Yes. Yeah, you pick up the phone and call us, and there is no cost to sit down and talk about your problem. If you got a quote from somebody else to help you through this before you sign with them, call up Taxation Solutions. Let us sit down and compare what we know we can do. We are experts at this, and we know exactly what the IRS is going to accept or not accept.
Right.
I have a
And I just got to say something. This is now tax season. So this is an important time because Barry also, his companies do taxes as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we work with everything within the IRS. If it's, business taxes, personal taxes, estates, trusts, the whole works, we do it all. And like I said, most of my people here are enrolled agents. I have tax attorneys. I have CPAs. So everybody here is completely knowledgeable inside and out about all the tax laws.
I have kind of a strange compliment for Barry because somebody from our show called Barry's office, told him what their situation is, and Barry said, there's nothing we can do for you. Whereas I'm going to tell you something. I know some of these companies out there just to take someone's money would have said, oh, yeah, sure.
I agree.
Yeah, we can help. Just write us a check. So I was so impressed with that, Barry, that there is no one on this earth that can help 100% of the people. But 95%.
But honesty is the biggest factor.
Exactly.
And he is, and his company is.
So I was really impressed with that, Barry.
Thank you. What we try to do, when I've taught all my tax consultants, and I deal with every single person here in the company, and we'll talk to them all to make sure that we're all on the same page. I'm not about making the fast dollar and making money off of people that can't use our services, or our services will do them very little good that they could do it on their own. We'll even tell them, hey, pick up the phone, call the IRS, and do this here and do this payment plan or something with them, because that's the best you're going to get. We're not going to be able to do anything more. Now, that being said, there's sometimes you pick up the phone and you call the IRS and they give you a payment plan, and it's a payment plan you can't afford.
So what
If you
happens?
get into that situation, pick back up the phone and call us, and hey, they're going to tell you they're going to pay $600-700 a month, and you can't afford but $100. Now you need our program, and we'll find a way to get it reduced. We may not get it down to the $100 you think you can afford, but we might get it somewhere in between that $600 and $100 that you want to pay.
Right, and some of these payment plans, I feel like they set you up for failure.
Exactly.
Well, what they do is they set you up to maximize what the IRS has coming in. So they're going to sit down and look at your plan and say, not knowing what your situation is, we want $500 a month. And you're sitting there going, but I don't have $500.
Right, exactly.
And that's all the IRS is going to tell you they're going to do. What we'll do is we'll sit down and run our program with you, and we'll talk about it and say, hey, maybe we can get you down to $200 a month, or we can get you down to even $100 a month. We have various programs that we can put each and every client through to get them to where they want to be, as close to where they want to be. We can't guarantee that we're going to be exactly your number, but, we're going to get as close as we can.
Before we go to break, I hate to do this, but people just need to know the truth. Once a taxpayer owes the IRS, what can the IRS do to them, Barry? What can't they do to them?
I hate to laugh here, but it's more of what can the IRS not do.
Exactly.
We talked about it being the biggest and baddest collection agency in the country, probably even in the world. But, we hear the horror stories every day, and we help people out from these horror stories of where they're garnishing their paycheck. They're almost taking the whole paycheck. Or they went and levied their bank account, and it's not the first time. It may be the second or third time, and it just happens to be on payday. So can you imagine getting your paycheck into your account, and that same day, that whole check going out because the IRS levied your bank account? Now try paying your bills. That's why you got to get in front of the problem. And, beaches being down there, and I've enjoyed your beaches and everything, but it's like putting your head in the sand, thinking you're not going to see it, nothing's going to happen to me. You got to pull your head out of the sand and face the problem head on and use a professional, because you need somebody between you and them.
Do they still pull your fingernails off, Barry?
They do waterboarding.
I heard waterboarding is illegal unless they send you down to Guantanamo or something. Right?
Not in Texas, it's not.
Hey, let's go to break. When we come back, we have the founder of Taxation Solutions, Barry Fowler, our friend. We will be right back with more great questions.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more? Is the IRS levying your bank account or garnishing your wage? Taxation Solutions protects the future of today's taxpayer and can get you a fresh start. Their staff of professionals have a genuine concern for the IRS issues their clients face. Taxation Solutions have programs to stop the IRS and help you solve your IRS debt, IRS audit, innocent spouse, IRS seizures, offers, and compromise. Taxation Solutions are the leading experts in the industry. They look at each case objectively and honestly to help their clients identify the best solution. Call today for peace of mind and a free consultation at 786-600-4351. Don't stick your head in the sand anymore. Call now, 786-600-4351, or go on their website, taxationsolutions.net. Call 786-600-4351.
And we're back. We have on the line, we have the founder of Taxation Solutions, Barry Fowler.
And I listened to the commercial. Don't stick your head in the sand. Call Taxation Solutions.
Hey, Barry, why do you think most taxpayers get behind on their taxes?
Well, the common thread there is we deal with a lot of small business people that have been contractors. They've gone out in business for themselves, and they don't have a good tax accountant working for them, enrolled agent, or they work with them after the fact. So that means they've worked with somebody after they've made all their money. And it's like this time of the year coming to me and saying, what can I do to save money on taxes for last year? Not much we can do about the past. But what happens is they get out there and they work on their own. Nobody's been consulting with them. And they turn around and they owe $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 because of self-employment tax and your federal tax on top of that. And they can't afford to make that payment. They didn't plan for the taxes. So, they get to that first year of working for themselves and can't afford to pay it. Now I'm not going to turn in my tax return because that'll give the IRS notice where I'm at and how much money I made. They already know. Now you've got that $15,000 tax bill plus 10% penalties plus interest and everything else. You get to the next year, and oh my God, why do I want to file my next year's return? Because again, they're going to know where I'm at, and they're going to ask for last year's and this year's money. Now I'm owing $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and it just continues to snowball, from there. And that's where the problems start. So you got to have good planning to begin with. But if you don't have that good planning and you're in that situation, now let us bail you out of it.
Right. You're in a no judgment zone. They could come to you. There's no judgment.
No, none at all. My guys here, they heard all the stories. We're not here to judge or tell you, hey, you should have done this or you should have done that, and hey, how wrong you are. No, that's the IRS's problem. Let them deal with it. And they can talk to us about it and tell us how bad you were. We don't care. We're here to solve the problem. We're here to make it easier for you.
Help people sleep at night.
That's right.
Hey,
well, you can't sleep at night if you got a bunch of stress.
Exactly.
Right? We have a guy who played for the Miami Dolphins. Name's not important. It's all over the media today that he had a business. It was a fitness center. And not only did he not, when he was going out of business, didn't pay his employees, but he kept all the state tax and federal tax that he held. He's in a lot of trouble, isn't he, Barry?
Oh, yeah.
That's a no-no. That's a big no-no.
That is the worst thing a business owner can do, is not pay payroll taxes into the federal government. And besides not paying your employees, but
yeah.
When you're talking government-wise, as a small business owner, and we see it happen quite frequently, though, is not making those payroll tax payments. What happens is, it's cash flow is what it all comes down to, is I don't have enough money to pay this or that. So the first thing that I don't pay is usually your payroll taxes. And that's the worst thing that you skip paying, because they're going to hit you with a penalty right up front for that. And then if you continue to not pay, then there's trust fund penalties and everything else that get hit on there. And those trust fund penalties could be as much as 100% of the payroll taxes you withheld.
So if you're a business owner, they can hold you personally liable for the payroll taxes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And not only just the business owners, and not to scare people that sign checks for, businesses, but if you are an employee and you're signing checks for that business as well, and you're choosing to skip paying those payroll taxes, you could be held liable for those payroll taxes as well.
That's unbelievable. That's a scary thought. So you could be working for somebody that has not paid their payroll taxes, and it's not even your business, and you could be held liable for those. That's crazy.
It's one of those little things in the tax law that most people aren't aware of. We've seen it happen. And we've bailed some people out of that situation because, one, they didn't have any knowledge of it. Two, they were still under directive of the business owner, and what we've been able to prove is that the business owner themselves chose not to pay the payroll taxes, not our client who happened to be a manager of the business and stuff. So there are ways around it. You just need a good professional that's going to
That's right.
IRS's feet to the fire.
So, Barry, how do you know that you're picking the right tax professional? Aside from picking Taxation Solutions, because that's who I would choose.
Because that's the easiest way of knowing you're going to pick the right place, is calling Taxation Solutions.
Exactly.
What you want to do is make sure that the people that you pick are fully licensed to operate, within the IRS, and that includes your tax attorneys, the CPAs, the enrolled agents, of course, would be licensed, but you want to make sure that their license are also in good standing. We've seen some people out there that, don't have good standing with either the IRS, maybe even the state board for attorneys, and maybe even the state boards for CPAs, and they still get out there and represent taxpayers. And the other thing is you can check us out. My main headquarters, of course, is in Houston, Texas, but we've got the 29 locations across the country. And my BBB rating is an A+. So you can check me out with the Better Business Bureau here in Houston. You can check us out, with the IRS. And, check us out on testimonials we have on our webpage. We take care of our clients. And
absolutely.
as we've tried to get out, is we don't take everybody. If I did, I would probably feel not be able to sleep at night knowing that I'm taking money for people I couldn't help. And what we try to do is make sure that we can help everybody that calls. Now, a lot of people call us and they don't like what we're telling them. So they sign with somebody else, and I get a phone call back later and going, gosh, I wish I would have went with you.
Right. They don't want the honest answer. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So, Barry,
So
also
they can't do anything for me.
Tell people about, because I know a lot of people get audited, and you don't want to go up against the IRS by yourself if you have an audit. So tell people why you should have Taxation Solutions representing you for an audit.
Rene, here's the thing. When we deal with people that are going through an audit, we try to keep them away from the IRS so that they're not out there talking to them. We represent a lot of different people across the country that have dealt with the IRS themselves, and they've gotten themselves in more trouble. Phone call, one of my tax consultants just talked to me about this morning. This couple is going through not just a 3-year audit, it's now become a 5-year audit. Because of things other people have done, with their return. And so whether they've agreed with it or not, they're the ones held responsible. And so, when you deal with us, we're going to tell you the truth. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to tell you exactly what to expect. And we keep you away from the IRS. We don't want you in the meetings with them, with our representatives. We'll take care of everything from beginning to end. You'll have to provide us a lot of information, and you'll be giving us the information we need to support your tax return.
Right.
But other than that, you don't deal with the IRS.
Which is a big factor. Why would you want to deal with the IRS? I would
you
not
could say
want
the
to,
wrong thing.
Exactly. So what's the biggest misconception about an IRS audit?
They're easy.
Yes,
They're
and they're
all
not.
They're easy. There are a few, and I will tell you this, is if you called my office and said, hey, you're going through a line item audit, and all they want to know about is why something like your dividends or your stock sales don't exactly match up with your tax return versus what was filed. Mistakes happen. There's times things don't tie in exactly. You can send them the information and get it over with, or you left a W-2 off that you didn't get. And you can solve that, fairly easily. There's no conversation. It's just correspondence. You send it in. Other audits, not easy at all. And, we can tell you that right up front. We can explain it to you the way it's going to go. My guys here, as well as myself and everybody that works at Taxation Solutions, would sit down and explain the way this audit's going to go and what's going to happen, what questions they're going to ask, and how they're going to try to twist your words into their favor.
Right. And the nicest part about hiring Taxation Solutions is the fact that nobody wants to talk to the IRS. It's a very scary thing.
And if you think you should talk to them,
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Absolutely not. So once you hire them, you never have to speak to the IRS ever again, which is wonderful.
Rene, what we do right at the beginning when we get a new client in is we send them a welcome packet, and we get all their information and everything for them. But in that welcome packet, we send their representatives business cards to the client so that if husband and wife can both carry a card with them from a couple different people in our office, and all they got to do is say, I am represented by Mr. Fowler at Taxation Solutions, and here's his phone number. And that's all you have to do. You never have to speak to the IRS after that. If they were to call, or if they did continue to call, they're violating the law because we represent the taxpayer.
Barry, please give everybody your phone number again and your website address.
Nationwide. So if you've got anybody anywhere in the nation that that has a tax problem, have them call us at 888-930-1016. Website is taxationsolutions.net. And again, just have them call us at 888-930-1016. Any time of the day, I've got them phones answered 24 hours.
And you've heard everything. I mean, they don't have to be embarrassed to call you.
No.
That's why I said no judgment zone.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, you've heard it all. So And this is what you're like the doctor tells you to take your clothes off. I mean, he's seen 1,000 people. You've worked with thousands and thousands of people over the years, and you're not going to judge them. And the most important thing we hope you've gotten out of this show, you don't want to go up against the IRS by yourself.
No, you never want to deal with the IRS by yourself. Get a professional out there. Get Taxation Solutions fighting for you every day.
Give me your phone number one more time, Barry.
888-930-1016. Like I said, 24 hours a day. 888-930-1016. Thank you, Rene and Steve.
Yeah, listen, Barry's with us every month, and I got to tell you, we're in 8 different cities. Barry's in all 8 cities. We have not gotten one complaint over the last 6 months. No one has complained. People have thanked us for bringing a show like this. That's pretty awesome. I mean, that not one complaint, because the industry's out there, some of those other companies out there. So, look, you don't have to Google anybody. We have the best Taxation Solutions.
Expert.
Exactly. Hey, Barry, thank you so much, man. We love you. We'll talk to you again next month.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on again.
Thanks, Barry.
Hey, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we have Belu and Belu.
Gil Belu.
We're going to do foreclosure defense. See, we just bring in all kind of experts to you. We'll be right back.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more? Is the IRS levying your bank account or garnishing your wage? Taxation Solutions protects the future of today's taxpayer and can get you a fresh start. Their staff of professionals have a genuine concern for the IRS issues their clients face. Taxation Solutions have programs to stop the IRS and help you solve your IRS debt, IRS audit, innocent spouse, IRS seizures, offers, and compromise. Taxation Solutions are the leading experts in the industry. They look at each case objectively and honestly to help their clients identify the best solution. Call today for peace of mind and a free consultation at 786-600-4351. Don't stick your head in the sand anymore. Call now, 786-600-4351, or go on their website, taxationsolutions.net. Call 786-600-4351.